What's up, everybody? It's your boy Lexus Maurice and
your boy Trey Hollywood.
And it is time for a new episode of Hollywood Happening. So, go ahead and pour yourself a glass of wine. Tonight we're drinking on some low-hanging fruit, sweet red. Pull up a chair, put on some lipstick, all of that good stuff, because we are about to discuss what?
I didn't say that.
We are about to discuss the tragedy, the massacre in Orlando, Florida that took place on this past weekend. Now, while we are about to take our first sip, I apologize. You know, it's been a while since we poured this glass of wine. Go ahead and like this video on Facebook. Make sure that you share it on Instagram. No, wait a minute. Like this video on YouTube.
Share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram, and share it on Twitter.
And Snapchat and all that good stuff, because you know we're trying to come up. So, on this past Saturday evening, regular club night, you know, for everyone in Trey's LGBT community.
We still on that. We still doing that.
But a gunman actually went into the nightclub Club Pulse in Orlando, Florida, and he opened fire.
Basically,
he went in with the intent to kill. And he went in and he killed a total, as of right now, the death toll is at 49 people. Mm-hmm. And he injured over 50 people. The gunman, and we're going to call his name is...
Can you pronounce it?
Yes, it's Omar Mateen, or whatever. Omar Mateen actually went into Club Pulse in Orlando, Florida, and opened fire using an assault rifle and a handgun, killing multiple people. Trey, when you heard about it, what went through your mind when you first heard about this?
I thought that, I don't want to say I thought that it was a prank, really, mm-hmm. But I just really wasn't really sure, because I woke up with a text message. I'm in a group conversation with some friends, and I woke up in the text message drew. And somebody that we actually had met a couple of weeks ago in Miami, mm-hmm. Was basically stated that person was in Orlando and at that club, and we hadn't heard from him, and we don't know where he was. So I had a busy day, mm-hmm. that day, because I had some photo shoots, and so I was kind of in and out of the whole situation until I was done. Mm-hmm. But when I heard about it, I was kind of just distraught, and I was kind of like, again, like, why? Like, what's going on? Mm-hmm. What made this person decide to... Because just the day before, a singer from The Voice got killed in Orlando. So I'm like, what is going on in Orlando? Mm-hmm. So I was really, really torn. I think it just really didn't hit home until I was actually home.
Yeah, I think the same thing happened for me. Saturday evening, I was out celebrating, with a friend for his birthday, and he came back to the house, and we were, just drinking and chit-chatting. And when I first heard about it, I think it was in the wee hours in the morning when I first heard about it. It was like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, mm-hmm. If not later than that, because we were up pretty late. But the next day, I was just like, they was like, a gunman went in and he shot up to 20 people. And then each news, every hour, more and more information started to develop pertaining to the story. Then he shot 20 people, then he killed 20 people, then 20 people went up to 30 people, then 30 people went up to 40 people, then 40 people went up to 50, and now it's back down to 49 people. But I will admit, in the beginning, it didn't really resonate with me, because I was like, oh my God, what is, I didn't take it seriously at first. But it wasn't until the weekend calmed down and I started paying attention, to the news, and I started watching the news posts, and I realized the severity of the situation. That this young man, went in and shot up all of these innocent people. The motive or the driving force behind this is because a couple of weeks ago, he saw 2 men kissing each other.
In Miami,
which was during Pride. I think you were down there, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's when he actually saw it, which was Memorial Day. But he saw 2 men kissing each other. And for whatever reason, it, flipped the switch. He went tick, tick, boom, boom. Even to the point where he purchased the weapons. He was even trying to purchase protective body armor, but he was denied the sale because of the fact that they didn't have any more in stock. More and more news developments coming out about this, and it's been in the news all weekend, all day today, which is Monday, and
I was just going to say, just one of the things about the club, because I went and did some history, and it was owned by a lady who established the club because of her brother. Mm-hmm. She had a brother who passed away because of HIV. And the name of the club is called Pulse because it's in remembrance of his heartbeat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So it's not many times that we hear about, and I don't want to just say gay clubs or, but just clubs, clubs getting shot up. Mm-hmm. So for something like that to go down, when people are in an element or in an environment that they can celebrate themselves.
Yeah. Comfortable.
Yeah.
It's a comfortable environment. Those people went for an evening of laughing, drinking libations. They went for an evening of toasting, dancing, just having fun with friends to the point where the gay club gets shot up. I mean, put yourself in that moment, Trey. You're in the club and you're dancing, you're having a good time, and then all of a sudden you hear, gunshots.
Right.
Several gunshots, and people just start dropping. I mean, what do you do? What do you do in that moment?
I think the thing about it is that you have to think about, you're dancing, you probably have liquor in your system. If you smoke, you might have, a high or whatever the case may be. So you're having this good time. You may hear those in the background. Mm-hmm. You may think, okay, that's not really a gunshot. Somebody got a firecracker, or somebody playing a joke. But if I'm sitting there dancing, and the person next to me hits the ground from a gunshot, you're kind of in a shock.
Yeah, because me not being in that situation, so me an outsider looking in, I'm thinking like, how could a club full of 200-300 people, allow one man to take out all of those people? Right. And I was thinking that in the beginning, even with a lot of these mass shootings and stuff like that, you would think that maybe 2 or 3 people would gather together and like football tackle his ass or something like that. But then I had to stop and think, Maurice, okay, if you were in the situation and people start shooting, I've been in situations where gunshots done broke out. You're thinking about survival. You're thinking about getting away from the situation, so you run and people panic and stuff. But I don't know. It's just weird for me that people just didn't like football tackle his ass. But at the same time, he do got an assault rifle or whatever.
You coming in,
or whatever. So you may not, but. Like, I'm just thinking in my mind, pandemonium is breaking out. People behind him. Nobody thought to, like, rush him from behind. But just
behind him dead.
Yeah, but just in that moment, you just don't think about it. Mm-mm. One of the things I'm thinking about, how the hell did he even get in the club? Like, did he just walk up to the club, just pulling out and just tearing people up?
This is what I think.
I know there was one police officer there. I don't know what's going on with the security. It's just kind of like, do you blame the club? Because he was able to get in?
No.
I don't either.
I don't blame the club.
I think some people are going to try to sue the club, though.
This is what I think. I mean, I don't think the club should be sued. This is what I think. He had 2 guns. He had the assault, but he also had a 9mm. Mm-hmm. He could have came to that front door, bum, bum. Mm-hmm. Everybody at the front door dead. Yeah. And then once he in the club, just start going off with the assault.
Shooting out in the open crowd.
So it ain't like he got searched at the front door, and they, let him in, and he walked in with it. No, I believe that the people at the door got shot. Mm-hmm. I don't think that the club should be sued because that's not, like I said something on my Facebook earlier, this is not something that we prepare for. We don't wake up and say, you know what, my club might get shot up tonight. Mm-hmm. So let me make sure I have all of our Orlando Police Department at my club. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, it isn't something that you think about, but I guess
it's a Saturday night.
Person, I guess the part of me that wants the logic, put some type of logic behind this is that, you would just think somebody would come together and try to take his ass out, but that's not the case. You're trying to think about getting out of there. Just hearing some of like the messages and hearing some of the stories, people were hiding up under dead bodies. They were laying on the ground pretending to be dead. People were running, trying to find maybe the exit door in the back, and there was a situation. There was one particular case where the guy was in the bathroom and he was texting his mom.
I can't.
Or whatever. He was letting his mom know that they were shooting. Yeah.
Basically what he's talking about is there was a guy who was in the restroom during the shooting. Mm-hmm. And in the midst of this whole situation, the guy decides to text his mom. And if he finds it, he'll read it to you, what was said. But I don't know. Like I mean, I would want to text my mom in a situation like that, but I'm like, can I text my mom in a situation like that?
What do you mean, can you text her?
I would hate for her to read a text saying, "Mom, I'm about to die." Like, you know, my first thought, yes, it would be to call my mom or text my mom. But would I want to leave that to on my mom? You get what I'm saying?
I mean, I get what you're saying, but it's just like you don't know what the situation. You
I
don't
can-
know
no, I
what's going to
understand
happen.
that. I
So you
understand
want
that.
to just go ahead and hurry up and reach out to your
Yeah,
mom.
of course. So, but I just think about it as my mom probably would have to live with that fact that she received a text message that, "Mom, I love you. He's coming in. I'm about to die."
So he says, "Mommy, I love you." In the club, they're shooting. She says, "You okay?" Trapped in the bathroom. Mom said, "What club?" "Pulse, downtown. Call police. I'm gonna die." Mom says, "I'm calling them now. You still in there?" Mom says, "Answer your damn phone." Mom says, "Call them. Call me." She's calling. He's not answering. He says, "Call them, Mommy, now." Mom says, "Is anyone hurt?" "Lots. Yes," was his response. Mom says, "Are you with the police?" Mom says, "Text me, please." He says, "No. Still in here. Still in the bathroom. He has us. They need to come get us." Mom says, "The police is in there. Let me know when you see the police." He says, "Hurry. He's in the bathroom with us. Women's bathroom is." Mom says, "Is the man in the bathroom with you?" "He's a terror. Yes." Mom says, "Are you hurt?" "Stay there. He don't like gay people." "Text me, please. I love you. Don't do anything. Stay down. Baby, text me."
He never texts back.
He never texts back because the government actually killed him. He murdered her son. And just to think the mother, knowing that your son is in a situation where he possibly can't help himself, you're calling the police. You know where he is, but they can't get to him. And he died. The SWAT team finally decided to just, I guess, bust a hole in the wall, or they took the wall down with the truck and went in, and they had an exchange of gunfire, with him, but eventually they took him out, or whatever the case may be, and they were able to rescue some of those people who he did have hostage. But there's a myth out there now that there's possibly like a second or a third shooter. There was one particular individual, giving an interview today that I saw on CNN, and he was saying how, when everything first kind of broke out and everyone realized what was going on, people started exiting out the back door.
Mm-hmm.
And he said when they exited out the back door, everyone was just like, move, run. But as they were running out the back door, he said people were dropping left and right.
Right.
So if Mateen is in the inside of the club shooting people,
How these dudes drop?
what in the hell is going on in the back of the club or whatever? So, they're saying that there was more than one shooter, amongst all of them. And what's also kind of weird to me is the fact that there have been confirmed 49 people, dead, 50-something people who have been hurt. But there are a lot of people now who still haven't heard from their loved ones.
Right, I saw that.
So I'm thinking like, well,
Somebody kidnapped?
yeah, are people also, if there was an accomplice, did they take people? Do they have them? Because it's still a lot of people that are unaccounted for when it comes to their families and friends and things of that nature. And that's just, I don't know. That, no one is actually confirmed as of yet. And it's like 6 o'clock, 6:30 now on Monday. No one has confirmed that there is a second or third shooter. So Trey, do you think that this is a hate crime, or do you think it's an act of terror? Now, the reason I say act of terror is because Mateen allegedly called the police twice while he was inside of the club. And he devoted his, he proclaimed that he did this in the name of ISIS, or whatever, which we all know is an extreme Muslim terrorist group. And he said that he did this in the name. So basically he gave credit to ISIS for, this particular attack. Now there's, a lot of things there's a lot of beliefs, or there's a lot of stories out there, because one moment they say he was associated with ISIS, and other moments they say he wasn't associated, he was associated with another extremist group who they're at odds with each other, they're not the same. But do you think this was a hate crime, or do you think this was an act of terror?
I honestly think that his father is full of shit. When his father said that it's because he saw two gay guys kissing in Miami. I believe that it's an act of terror. I really do. Because we are at a point where 2016, all lives matter, and same-sex marriages is accepted in every state, and people know about gay people. So I don't believe that you're gonna sit here and tell me, okay, well, he's mad that he saw two guys kissing. You see that on TV nowadays. You see that on the street. You see
Some
that
people
everywhere.
don't watch TV.
Well, my point that I'm stating to you is that I don't believe that he's gonna actually say, okay, you know what? I'm mad that these two guys are kissing. I'm just gonna travel over 100 miles and go to a club and kill them. No, this is an act of attempt. This is playing.
Yeah, I mean, especially because of the fact they're saying that he tried to buy body armor, he bought the equipment and things
and
like
now,
that.
it also makes me believe, because I was reading, somebody was saying that he was with somebody on the inside. Makes me believe that, how did he know? If he's a straight guy, how did he know about this gay club on this specific night? To go to this
Just
club?
research.
Right, that's why I said this is not a
Research.
hate. This is an act of terror. That's just what I believe.
I personally don't feel that it's an act of terror. And the reason I don't feel it is because I personally think that Mateen didn't, I think he just decided to say, I'm doing this in the name of, Islam or, Muslim or whatever.
That's still act of terror?
I don't feel that, I think he just did that just for hype. I don't think that this is actually something that he did, because the research has been showing thus far that he really didn't have any ties to ISIS. Yes, he was interested in ISIS, but he hadn't, done anything to pledge allegiance to them in the past.
That we know of.
This is just a preliminary investigations. But, he was just a typical Muslim. His ex-girlfriend has come out and saying that he was bipolar, that he was mentally disturbed.
So this was his other brain cell that was decided to take him to go kill all these homosexuals?
Sometimes people they do see things that just,
so it
turns on a light that just, or it turns off a light.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't believe that?
No.
Yeah, I do think, Trey, this is my thing. Mental illness is something
I
very
know about
serious.
mental illness.
And I think, people, the people in the African American community, the black community, we don't take it serious.
No,
we think it's something that, that don't happen to black people. We just gonna shush it up under the rug or whatever. But regardless if you black, I'm only speaking from my experience as a black person. We try to sweep it up under the rug. But mental illness is something serious. Trust me, I'm not trying to justify what he did. I just don't think that he really did this in the name of ISIS. I think he just did that in the spur of the moment, just to say, just to cause even more pandemonium or whatever the case may be. That's just how I personally feel, because as they're saying, as the FBI is continuing to do the investigation, they're not seeing. Now it did say that he had been investigated 2 or 3 times already, but their investigations concluded that he didn't have any ties, to any type of Islamic groups and things of that particular nature. So
interesting.
It is interesting. I'm still on the fence. The more information comes out, maybe we'll be able to categorize this as a hate crime, or we'll be able to categorize this as an act of terror, or at the end of the day, it's probably both.
Yes. How do you feel about the gun laws?
Good. I mean, because the Second Amendment right says that we have the right to bear arms. I think these type of incidences, it is time for gun reform. Now, I will say this, Trey. This type of shit make me want to go buy a damn gun.
Hello?
And I ain't telling you no damn lie.
This was a scheme
Right.
that Todd set up to come back with us.
With the bullshit, okay? But this is the type of shit that makes me want to go get a gun.
Yeah.
To be able to protect myself, because it's some real ignorant people in this world. There are a lot of dark forces, evil spirits, and yes, I do sometimes think that certain things can happen to cause people to turn off or on the light switch in their head.
I think that
the tick tick boom.
Right, anybody who purchases a gun, I think there actually needs to be a process. You need to go through a side, like you just need to go through a whole mental Like, you need to sit down with a
A
doctor.
mental evaluation. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Hell yeah, but ain't nobody got time to pick up 90-49 bodies either.
That's true.
So, whoever go buy a gun needs to go, because it could have been somebody, I could have been retired from the Army, and I had nothing against the Army, but usually people from the Army, they go through a lot. They done been over there in the war, they done seen a lot, so they need to go through a psychiatrist. So, what I'm saying is that there need to be a point where a person who purchases a gun needs to go through,
A psychological.
they need to go through that. Yes, because just like you said, something tick. Like they're supposed to be able to tell if I'm gonna have that click in my head through questions and answers and tests and all that type of thing.
But people who are against gun regulation says that of course it's their second constitutional right, but their argument is it's not the guns that's doing the deed.
It's the
people who have the guns who are doing it. Mm-hmm. So why punish everybody for these people? Because some people say they use assault rifles when they're out gaming, when they're out, hunting and all kinds of stuff like that.
That's why those people need to go through those tests to make sure that those people are okay.
But I can say that I'm purchasing this assault rifle for out there in the woods, but then I can turn around and use it for something else.
Right, but what I'm saying is, if you say that, then you say, okay, well, sure, I'm gonna purchase this assault rifle. But if you go through those tests, the doctor should be able to determine whether you should have this gun or not.
Okay, but people can fake real good, Trey.
What?
They can put on a good front. They can manipulate
this is
the
true,
doctor.
but I'm pretty sure
they can be really good actors and actresses.
But I'm saying there might be a better, effective number if there are tests that are ran, rather than just somebody going out. So when you purchase a gun, I don't know how it works. When you purchase a gun, what happens? Do you just go and you buy a gun, or how do you get a license? How do you get?
You can buy one illegally. I don't know really.
So that's what I'm saying. If you go and buy,
you go get a gun permit and then you go buy it.
But how do you get a gun permit? You go to a shooting range to learn how to aim. Like, you know what I'm saying? It has to be a process. There's levels to this shit.
You can just get a gun and shoot. Shoot, pow, pow, pow.
Exactly.
Pow.
So let's say, for example, right now, I say, you know what? When we're done recording this, I'm gonna just go buy a gun.
I think you got to have a license.
That's what I'm saying. What was the process of getting licensed?
Yeah.
Like, it has to be a process.
Yeah, I mean,
you go to a gun range. You just make sure you can hold the gun. Basically, you're teaching the people how to kill in that case.
Well, I learned how to shoot with my gun.
I know how to shoot with a gun.
And then I've gone to.
But I just don't. I don't want no gun. I don't want no gun.
But did something like this don't make you want to have one?
No, it doesn't, because you know what? I might get a gun. Somebody might come on me, use my gun to kill me. I don't want a gun.
I do believe certain people don't need guns, but just this type of shit like this makes you think like.
No, because what you gonna take the gun? What you take in the club? You can't go into the club.
I can keep it in the car.
Or what you gonna do? What it being in the car gonna do if you in the club and they come shoot the club? If you in the church, they come shoot the church. Are you gonna summon your gun?
Yes, Betty.
You know what I'm saying? It's Iron Man. This ain't that Iron Man shit. You're not gonna and then the shit's come to you.
Well, these days there's a lot of technology out there. I could probably wear something on my hand and summons my gun if it got a chip. All they need is a SIM card.
That's why they got one of those.
My gun got its own telephone number. 803.
Who got time to do all that?
7894. I call it on my phone. There's an app for that, Trey.
You gonna do all that? In the process, okay.
All it needs 2 clicks. Click.
He come in shooting, so the gun gonna come to you.
Bow, 2 in the head, leaving for days.
When that shit happen, you let me know, cause that's the shit that's needed out here in this world.
In all seriousness, I do think there needs to be some type of reform. I'm not for taking away guns completely, because some people feel that they need it for protection, security. I'm actually giving some serious thought to getting me a gun. But at the same time,
for what?
I don't know. Maybe it's peace of mind.
You don't be out here in these streets.
I don't be out here
in these streets.
But just in case somebody come up in here and they try to get, you
better body slam their ass. Body slam.
I can football tackle them, but if I can't run to work, that kind of proves the point that I was talking about earlier. Nobody's gonna run into the line of fire. I'm not gonna run into the line of fire, but I can keep my ass around that corner.
That's why you see all doors closed. You better stop sleeping hard.
So what?
You better stop sleeping hard.
If people want to get in day they gonna get in, Trey, whether
then you
your
get in
door
that
is
ass.
locked or not.
You getting that ass in.
Well, I want to see you football tackle somebody that got an assault rifle.
Assault rifle. Now you ain't seen about no assault rifle coming up in the house.
But you never know.
That's
what
why they asked for me to be able to purchase them.
So
why the fuck are they selling assault rifles to me? If you're not in the army, if you ain't no police, even the police don't even really need them unless
that's the
SWAT
type of
team.
stuff that I'm talking about.
I don't need to walk into a damn gun store and just say, "Hey, I want to buy an assault rifle." No, nigga, a Magnum.
When I talk about
or a 9mm, why are you letting me buy an assault rifle?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. And when we talk about gun reform, that's the type of stuff that needs to be taken into consideration. Those types of guns, those type of weapons should not be available for an average Joe like you and I to purchase.
All right, exactly.
Or whatever. There should be special circumstances. And in my personal opinion, there shouldn't be any circumstances where you can get them. But it's the black market, Trey. If we outlaw those guns, people are still going to be able to get them somehow on the black market.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, so it's kind of like I am for gun reform. I'm not for completely taking it away. But even if we do reform the gun laws, if a nigga want to get their hand on an assault rifle or a psycho, let me not say nigga, I don't even know why I said that, but if somebody want to get their hands on an assault rifle, their asses is going to get one.
If a motherfucker want to get their hands
for the right price.
On a gun.
When money talks, bullshit walks.
Right.
That's all I'm
like,
saying.
sir, I can't sell your gun. The law told me I can't. All right, I'm going to throw you 100, 500. All right, so which one you want? You know what I'm saying?
And that's just, at the end of the day, in the beginning of the morning, that's just the truth of the reality. But this is exactly why people need to know the issues, because that's one of the issues on the docket or the agenda with this 2016 election. You have people like Donald Trump that says no gun reform, or he might change his mind and say, well, maybe we need to have limited. And then you have, people like Hillary Clinton who says we need stricter gun laws in this country, because if we sit back and do nothing, we're going to continue to have these types of, tragedies and massacres and things of that nature. Now, one of the things that stood out to me was seeing the people, seeing the families and the friends of people not being able to get in contact with their loved ones. Another person on CNN came on and said, or maybe it was one of the officers who's working the scene, because they didn't remove the bodies until last night, in the wee hours in the morning. But you got 49 people dead inside the scene, right? And if you're an officer and you're in the club, they're still walking around the club figuring out what's going on. They're doing their forensics and stuff, but the bodies are still there, and you're hearing telephone calls. All you hear are these people who are dead, their phones ringing, their loved ones trying to call and get in contact with them. I mean, that sound has to be very haunting. Just to be in that club and you're walking around as one of, the responders, and you're seeing 49 people dead on the ground, and all you hear is telephone calls going off, rings, ring, 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 ring. The mom trying to find their son or their daughter, fathers, friends, and family. The idea of that is just haunting to me. That's very, very haunting. But I am glad that my friends Cedric and Jonathan, they live in Orlando, Florida. We've been down to visit them, and I'm glad that they're okay, because just the prior weekend they were out and about, in the city or whatever. But I can't imagine being a loved one and not knowing where your loved one is, where you're calling, especially if you're somewhere across the country somewhere, you may not be able to get down here. That's really, really sad. People who have survived, some of the 50 plus people who have survived, but they're in like critical condition, who are wounded. There's a need for blood, down there, donation of blood. But unfortunately, a lot of the homosexual men are being turned away because they can't give blood if they've had sex within the last year. That it kind of puts the stigma out there that HIV/AIDS is just a gay man's disease, and it's not just a gay man's disease.
It started with a straight woman.
In that case, not just gay people, but anybody who have had sex within the last year runs the risk of carrying any type of diseases or anything of that nature. But to single out lives, But
That's
to
the
single
truth.
out, you know, a group of people because of their sexual orientation and who they have sex with, it's kind of sick.
Yeah, it
to
is.
me.
I couldn't even be the person to say, no, I'm sorry, I
Right.
can't take your blood because you had sex in the past.
But think about Trey. If you were there, and I knew you were there, and you're in the hospital, you were shot, you were wounded, and you know you need blood, and three of us, you know, me, Cameron, and you know, Gene, we are a match for you, and you know we want to give you blood, but then they say, have you had sex with a man within the last year?
I hope y'all been alive.
Well, yes, I have had sex with a man within the last year, but my friend is on his deathbed and he needs blood.
Turn that
Well,
hospital
we can't take
upside
your
down.
blood.
Turn that motherfucking hospital up.
You can turn it upside down, but rules and regulations are rules and
I'm
regulations
saying
until they're
I
changed.
still turn the shit upside
Then
down.
I'm gonna go to jail.
You know, I just turn that motherfucker upside down. You can go to jail.
But I mean, you know, just to think about that, you want to do something. You know, definitely we can pray. We can pray, but there are a lot of people out there who want to do more than pray. You know, they want to be a catalyst for change. They want to be able to do something meaningful. And giving blood could be one of those things, but just because I've made the decision to lay down with a man, I can't give blood. Like, that has to be the most sickest thing, and it has to hurt. It has to hurt that, you know, people can't do that.
Did you hear about the donations? They've raised over $2 million in
Let
their
me tell you
GoFundMe.
something. Let me tell you something about the gays. Okay?
We come
Let me
through.
tell you something about the gays. They don't support, regardless of the situation. Gay people are some of the most compassionate, understanding,
We might be messy. We
loving
might be petty.
people out there.
But we do.
And think about it. For those of you who have gay friends, you got an ace in the pocket. You got somebody who you can always depend on, who's going to be there for you regardless. But what has really disturbed me about this situation is the lack of compassion that a lot of people have for the victims in this tragedy. And when I say the lack of compassion, I have seen shit on Facebook that has turned my stomach inside out. And I think, and to be honest with you, I think that's one of the reasons why I even started paying more attention to this tragedy, is because of some of the nasty things that people are saying. I'm talking about pastors. I'm talking about church-going people. I'm talking about people who are saying things like they deserved it. This was an act of God. God is cleansing the earth of all homosexuals.
These sins and
Fuck them gays. You know, like, I can't believe people are actually coming out of their mouth. For me, it's even sad, and I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of people that I know on Facebook, I'm disappointed because I haven't seen them post one thing about this tragedy. And it's not that I'm looking for you to write a long soliloquy. I'm not
you
looking
can
for
just
you
say pray for Orlando.
pray for the people in
Orlando.
Orlando. We can take time to take out and make fun jokes about the gorilla that got killed a couple of weeks ago or whatever. You know, when you think about, you know, Michael Brown and Trayvon Martin and
Anthony
the
Kidd.
Charleston people, you know, the Charleston, I think it's the 9 who were killed in Charleston, South Carolina. The gay people can come and stand next to you and pray with you and donate and be a support system for people who were discriminated based on race, you know, based on religious views. But when something like this impacts the gay community, we can't even get you guys to send up a prayer on behalf of those people or their loved ones who are lost. We can't even get you to post something on Facebook. Do you know how insulting that is?
I just want to
Do you know how frustrating that is? How much of a slap in the face it is? We are constantly telling gay people, you can't participate in the ministry of the church because you're gay. But at the same time, you'll still take my tithes and my offering. Or whatever. You know, for to have a group of people to just be discriminated against You people better watch out. You got a lot of darkness inside of you, and you need to learn a lot about the world. To not have compassion for someone just because they are homosexual, just because they like someone of the same sex, you're going to make the decision to not support them or recognize the fact that these were innocent people who were lost, their lives were lost. But you can get all upset about a damn gorilla, or even make memes and jokes about a gorilla, but you can't even say pray for Orlando, or you can't even acknowledge the fact that innocent people, because everybody in that club wasn't gay. People lost their sons and daughters. People lost brothers, sisters. Hell, some of them people were fathers and mothers in that damn club. And now you have a child that doesn't have a parent. Some people in that club were lovers. Both of them dead. But you mean to tell me you can't find room in your heart to say, I'm sorry to hear about that particular person, but we can make jokes about every damn thing else? This world is sick.
Yeah,
and some of the people in this world is very sick.
Like I was saying earlier, some of the ways I found out
I
about
can't
it,
stand this shit.
Some of the ways I found out about it is I have actually received some tweets from people who know I'm from Florida, and asked me, okay, but I just want to actually read just one brief message that I received from one of our biggest supporters, Anita. I don't know if the name sounds familiar to you.
I know Anita.
But she sent me a message and she said, "Hey Trey, I know that I don't owe you an apology for someone being so stupid, but I just wanted to apologize for what you and the LGBT community have to go through on a daily basis. I am seriously praying for you and everyone. I really hope you didn't know anyone from the Orlando shooting, and have a nice day." Like, she didn't have to send me that message this morning, but it just shows, and she's not even homosexual. She's a heterosexual. But she's a big supporter of me. She's a big supporter of him. And she just really wanted to let me know that she's praying for me and people of the LGBT community. Because like I said on my Facebook yesterday, at first, before I knew the person who I knew was there, I said that, I don't know these individuals, but because they are of the LGBT community, I feel like they're my brothers and sisters.
Right.
And I've lost some brothers and sisters because of something stupid. So I just felt a way that I looked. I'm not saying I searched and lurked and did all that, but I did look at certain people, certain celebrities, and certain people who I saw on a normal basis do stuff for the gorilla, who did stuff for Trayvon Martin, who posted stuff, all these other stuff, who didn't say not one fucking thing about Orlando.
And that's hurtful. For me, I've even looked at, the social media pages of some of, people who are in the ministry or the gospel, in the ministry, whether it's preaching, music, or anything like that. And I'm just not seeing anything. Right. And that disturbs me. Like, people can have their own personal views. I'm not knocking anybody and their personal views. You don't have to agree with a person's lifestyle. But you can have, or you can value a person's life. To have just reckless disregard to a person's life because of their sexual orientation and who they lay down with. Like, who the fuck cares? It's not impacting you. Who they lay down with, or who they sleep with, who they suck, who they fuck, whatever. It has nothing to do with you. They're not bothering you. Gay people don't come and bombard a straight club.
Right.
We go to our own clubs. We do our own things. And you come in and you kill people, whether it's a hate crime or whether it's an act of terror, wherever the situation is, it's just fucked up that people just don't value people's life just because they are gay. And to not see people show signs of compassion, regardless if they don't want to be associated with gay, it's about human life. It's about human life. And if we can't show compassion for that, guys, we are in a real bad place, and God is definitely going to be coming back very, very soon. At the end of the day, guys, and we about to wrap it up, all I'm saying is have a little compassion. Be careful of what you put out there. You put stuff out in the universe, you spew hate into the universe, that shit is going to come back on you. And it's going to come back on you in a way that you never ever imagined. Like I said, Gay people are some of the most compassionate, caring, and loving people in this world. When there are other things going on in this world, gay people are some of the ones that stand up. Gay people are the ones that do a lot of the work. That you same heterosexuals sit out here and you post on social media,
Y'all
but don't
repost it.
follow through with
It was
any type
posted
of
by a gay person.
execution, or you don't follow through with any type of action. The gays are the ones who are out there on the front line doing everything. But for people to just not have any room for compassion or not want to associate themselves, that's a big thing. People don't want to associate themselves with the situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked up, y'all.
Yeah.
And the last thing you want to do is to have the gay people to turn their back on this world. And that's all I'm saying. You'll realize how much, and I ain't trying to be funny. I'm not trying to give power. I'm just giving credit where credit is due. There are gay people who run this
I bet you if a
motherfucking
gay
world.
person run for president, they'll win.
The United States ain't ready for that.
But I'm just saying, I bet you they would.
Nah.
Yeah.
Trey, they're not even saying anything about these 49 people
I'm
who are
saying,
dead so
I'm
far.
just saying, that's how much
They ain't
power,
ready for that.
that's how much support gay people get.
Well,
If you would like to donate to the victims of the Orlando shooting, you can go to www.gofundme.com/post-victims-fund. They've raised a lot of money.
Is that credible?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
Sit here looking at it.
I mean, you can look at it, but anybody can
looked
set
it
up
up.
a GoFundMe account.
I looked it up.
That's how much did they raise so far?
$2.4 million. Their goal is $3 million.
All right. But there are other organizations
And that's
out
the
there.
day.
And I ain't trying to be funny.
No, I know.
I don't trust a lot of people with their GoFundMe.
No, I guess
or
so.
whatever. But, you know, there are
This was
also
the
other
link that was
organizations
supposed to
out
be
there
seen
too.
in.
Right.
It was supposed to be.
You can also go to places like the American Red Cross, and they have links to other places as well that you can donate your money to.
Right.
Thank y'all so much for watching this episode of Hollywood Happenings. We appreciate y'all. Let us know what you think. How has this tragedy impacted you? How has it affected you?
And if you have any family members that involved, our condolences to you.
Right. There's a young gentleman by the name of Shane. I don't know his last name, but
Yeah.
I know that he used to live in Charlotte. I think when both of us stayed in Charlotte or whatever, and a lot of our mutual friends,
I knew somebody who knew
family members, they know him and they are taking it kind of hard. So I don't know him, but condolences to Shane and all of his family and friends. All I'm going to say is put your trust in God. We may not know why this happened. We may not be able to see it right now. But my friend Jamarcus said this, and then we're gonna close out with this. Jamarcus said,
I know this was deep. Because Jamarcus deep.
yet through this turmoil, God is speaking to the hearts of many. Souls will be saved, lives will be transformed, deliverance will take place, relationships shall be mended, families will be united. God is an intentional God. Alright, thanks guys. Appreciate you. Love you. Ciao.